Good afternoon. It's June 23rd, 2023, and the market just closed. And really, we just had a range day. I just drew this trend channel though, and it's clear that some people were looking at it this way. You can see the midline. Prices respond to it a handful of times here. Um, so early on, we made these two measured moves right before market open, and we like got a triple bottom at that measured move. Then we went a little lower, and from then on, we were just ranging. You can see the buyers tried to bring it back up, but they didn't do much of a good job. Okay, so that was just the price level that they couldn't get through um, later on. Level of resistance. So we'll take a look at these trades. I think 8 a.m. comes in somewhere in this downward move. So there really wasn't a way to get in on this move, unfortunately. We just trade down into it. This one, I would say this one, I couldn't um, pull the trigger on this one because this looked like a triple bottom to me and just a first entry. But it is a second entry, first entry, second entry. So if you take that, I think that's I don't think that's too bad. I tried to enter on a limit order and it just didn't come back to fill it. Um, but yeah, it's second entry. Just didn't touch off the EMA, or else I'd probably mark it red. Also, I didn't like that we were in the lower half of the trend channel, and you can see that start to move down to a new low before some buying comes in. This is not a convincing break of this trend channel. I just viewed that as like the first swing low. And then we get this move, and I looked at this as a double test. Um, this was one in real time that I didn't really first entry, second entry. I was looking at it as a third entry. It's got a matching high with this one, so you can't look at it as a lower high. But if you saw that double test, I think my screen looked like this, so I didn't see it. It was a double test. If you saw that it was a double test, I think you can take that. It's really close to the trend line too. And I mean, the way you could have had it drawn off this, the trend channel drawn off this, and then at that point it'd probably be off of your trend channel. So I like that one. We find some support at the midline of this range, and then you get a first entry, second entry off the high of the range, off of this trend channel. I think you have to take that. Problem is, this was right before a news item that was at 9:45, and this is at 9:42. But I like that. And then you get this lower high, but that's like right in the middle of the news item. Yeah, so that's pretty aggressive. And then we kind of bottom out at the lows of this range, and then we start going higher. And we get confirmation of this trend channel here. Um, but it's kind of choppy. So you get this break higher, this failed break higher. It's also a second entry short because this is a new low. Um, Perhaps you take this one. It's aggressive, a lot of overlap right there. Um, and then you get a failed second entry short right here, and that is off the trend channel. So I think you got to take that because we haven't been able to push lower, and there's room to this high. So let's see how much. 90.75. So there's actually 5 ticks. So just enough space to get out. You can see as soon as it broke out, some people took their profits, but then it pushes higher. This one's actually a failure too. I didn't see that, so I'm gonna mark this one. It's an inside bar, but this is a new low. First entry, failed second entry short, especially with that super bearish bar. I think that's a trap. We come up here, and this is a new low. So you get a first entry, failed second entry short again. What was, oh yeah, this one closes below the EMA though. So that's why I marked this one green. But it's off that trend channel again. What did I just see that I was going to talk about? Yeah, so that's a repeat pattern as well. You see, we make the new low, failure. This is a new low, boom, failure. Oh yeah, that's what I was going to see. We ticked lower here, but it never went higher. So the failure occurs right here. Anyway, we come up here, we test this price level once, twice, and a third time. Nice bearish bar. Maybe you take that because very likely that will test this level of support. And that's exactly where we went and bounced. So then eventually we break out above this price level to the high side. And we hit the measured move of this range and sell off. And then we find support at the midline. Come up here, find resistance at the midline of the larger channel. And this is actually it might be a larger, might be something like that. I mean, that looks like a channel to me. So you get a break. Prices are still responding to the channel. But the problem is this range. So, we find a little bit of support at the midline, and then we find a lot of support right here at the opening price, and it reverses, and you get a reversal, but it's below the EMA. So you get this strong move up, overshoot leads to a break. Maybe you take this second entry. All right, I had to take a quick break, but I was talking about this overshoot that led to the break. I'm going to mark this one green. It's a second entry. But what I would be concerned with, and actually I'm seeing now is it happened, sometimes you'll see this where you find resistance right there. And that's exactly what happens. You can see that. And what I'm talking about is this former level of support right there. So it ends up working, but that's why I'm marking that aggressive. And we come up here and you get a first entry, second entry long. And again, I mean, this one kind of looks like this one because if you draw this, then you're going straight into the midline. But this signal bar is I guess it's not really better because there's some stem up there. I guess I should mark this green because we don't have confirmation of any trend channel. After the break of this channel, we have a new high. So I'm going to mark that green. We come up here, get some congestion, move to a new high from this channel, and then we go sideways. And we find support at this level. And you really get a triple test right here and confirmation of this trend channel. So the combination of those two things, I think you can mark this blue. When we go higher, you can see plenty of people like that. And really, I mean, you want to look at these highs, 350, and there's plenty of room to those highs. So we come up higher, and I marked this, I think, in real time, but I mean, it's a second entry, but it looks like it doesn't even end up working. So yeah. That's why I marked it green. But I mean, I don't think I should have even marked it anyway. Look at all this congestion, and then you have 3 bearish dojis in a row. This one closes in the lower half. So anyway, this one fails. You can't take that as a failure. Not enough evidence for that, first of all, and second of all, it's above the EMA. And then we sell off, and there was just no opportunity to get in on this sell-off. I don't think this was a really convincing break. I think unless you draw it steeper like that, then it's a convincing break. And really here, what happens is we get 2 legs down and we go a little further than those 2 legs. Boom. So that's how I would play it. You can see price is still responding to that price level. We go sideways and eventually a little lower before reversing. There's no setup, no convincing break here, but we get a break up here and a move to a new high. Then it goes sideways a little bit. And we have this larger channel working, and the way I got that was by drawing it off the highs. No setup here. We come back to the trend line. No setup. And I don't think you want to go short. And that just takes us into market close. So that's how I saw it today. There's one last look at that. And the daily chart. So it looks like we're continuing one single leg down. But that might be the channel we're working with now. So one last look at this chart. Hope everyone had a great day. Hope everyone has a great weekend. I'll be back next week.